Hey, this is Amazon Jude coming to you from Wyoming. And, God, I went through the news today and then I listened to the White House briefing. I listened to Senate here, our senators on the floor bashing the tax relief bill that's going to come up under President Trump. And I have to tell you, it's a great bill. I'm a small business owner, and I would love to go down to 20% instead of 39%. Or, God, I think we even pay even more with, state, local, and taxes on that, and then taxes on our parts. And, we get to, under the new bill, we'll get to deduct the parts and we'll get to deduct, perhaps some of the insurance that we pay for our trucks. And so I'm thrilled to death with it. The problem is Mitch McConnell, I don't know what he's thinking. He needs to go to the 51 rule majority vote. Does he not know that the Democrats, I know he knows, after, 40 years in Washington, he has to know. They would have made that happen day one, to where all they needed was their majority vote to pass a bill. Some of the most interesting things happened today. And oh, did you notice my Detroit Tigers hat? I'm not much of a football player, watcher, or nothing like that. My brothers played, but my brothers were more into baseball because Detroit is baseball and hockey. That's what we do. That's what we did up there. And Wyoming likes its football, so I'm not going to down it. But today I'm going to wear my Detroit Tigers hat in support of my Detroit Tigers, because I always support my baseball players, my NASCAR boys, my monster truck boys. You don't see those boys on their knees, do you? Unless they're in a uniform fighting over in Afghanistan or somewhere. So, you guys want to get on your knees? Do it on your own time. My brother says, he's a football guy and he's also a baseball guy. And he says, you know what? You want to bitch? Do it on your own time. Don't do it on my time. If I'm paying you to get out there and play, or work on my car, and you start kneeling down because you feel oppressed, I'm going to fire your ass. And Trump called it. I mean, he called this one right too. Of course, he hasn't been wrong a lot at all. I mean, he's probably been one of the most right-on judgments on all this big elite bullshit, because he's run around in that world forever. He knows these guys. Anyway, so I put on my baseball cap and I'm thinking I better call my brother and remind him that if any of our Detroit Tigers get down on their knee, that we need to boo them in the stadium. They can do that or on their own time. Better yet, they can take their money and they can donate to some cause, and they can go out, rally and protest, and whatever they want to do. But when I'm paying $80 a ticket, I don't give a shit how you feel about politics. I want to see you get out there and do your job. So enough with that. Another thing today, I watched the Senate hearing, or the senators on the floor, and there was this one gal out of Wisconsin, a senator, and she was asking for the appropriations of $900 million to a student loan program called Perkins that doesn't exist. It's been phased out over the last 2 years. So she should go into the back room and fire whoever wrote her speech, because she sure looks stupid. Thank God for the senator out of Tennessee that managed to get up and kill the bill. That would have been $900 million wasted on a program that no longer exists. Can you believe that? These are the people running our Congress. These are the people that are in our House of Representatives. We're sending idiots to Washington to tell us how we should live, how we should vote, where we should live, what our laws should be. If that doesn't scare the absolute shit out of you, I don't know nothing that would. Let's go on to the White House. This is funny, the White House briefing. April Wine, I think is her name. At least that's how I equate it in my head. April Wine, because that's all she does is whine. What about the colored folks? What about the colored folks? What about the colored folks? Well, you know what? Everybody in America has a chance to succeed. You just have to peel your ass up off the couch and go to work and not buy crack cocaine and malt 45s and spinning rims and gold teeth, and you can have a home. You know, not to be racial here or anything, but I grew up in Detroit. We were the only white family for, 6 blocks. I grew up on Hilger. What is that? Uniroyal Tire was a few miles down. My mother was a bartender. My father was a Detroit cop. Don't tell me about poverty in the black community. I know plenty of black men that worked their asses off in factories and fed their families, and they weren't smoking crack, and they were buying homes, and they were living the American dream until the Democrats got a hold of Detroit. You guys ruined it. You destroyed it. You drained our economy, sent our jobs away, and you giggled your ass all the way to the bank after you raped your own people. So don't you dare fucking blame the white man. You did this to your own. You shoot your own, you kill your own, you cook your own dope, and then you sell it to your own pregnant women. So get off the race cart. It's not flying by me. I know. I live there. I had neighbors that were black all around me. All of them good people. All of them got up every morning the same time my dad did and went to work and did his job and fed his family, mowed his lawn, played with his kids in the yard, and nobody shot anybody. Okay? You know why? Because we didn't see the color of each other's skin. We saw each other as neighbors. We watched Soul Train. Do you remember that with Cornelius? Everybody loves Soul Train. Black, white, all of us. We loved it. I played with 5 colored children as I was growing up. And none of them paid attention to my color. They paid attention to how cool I was. Or if my mom and dad, or my mom packed an extra, Twinkie or 2 in my lunch, because everybody was struggling. I mean, think about it. His name was Al Green, and it was called Mercy. You need to listen to that song. Do you want to know what Detroit was when I was growing up in the 60s? That's what it was. Al Green's Mercy. So, let's move on because I'm getting all sentimental on this. Next big deal today. Tom Price took a private jet. Oh my God! Let's let our heads explode. Do you know what it costs to send bony-ass Nancy Pelosi back and forth from California? One way? $64,000. Did you know that at one point, all our military planes that shuffle these pricks back and forth to their states were all used, and we couldn't send any help to our men over in Afghanistan that needed a load of fuel because the planes were out hauling these pricks back and forth to their home states. So, get over your, Tom Price deal. It's not going to fly. I hope Trump realizes it. I'm one of those guys, or one of those gals. I send them information 2 o'clock in the morning. I send it to all of his staff. You guys have to know how corrupt Washington is. And these guys fly on our dime all over. Look at John McCain. What was he doing in Ukraine? He was over there promising them guys weapons of mass destruction based on lies of Russian collusion with Trump when it was really him and Hillary in Podesta. And these guys don't think nobody knows any of this. There are watchdogs out here, and I'm not paid. Nobody pays me. Nobody pays my bills except for my husband. And by the way, I love men. Unlike Pelosi and Waters and Warren and all of those crazy women in Washington. I don't know what happened. You dry up and all of a sudden, you know, the dildo is better than the man. Well, I don't know about you, but I still like my car doors open by a man who will give me a kiss on the cheek and cook me a bowl of soup when I'm sick. So I'm sorry you guys are all bitter old wenches. But anyway, the fact is they've got something in mind. Democrats have something in mind. And what it is to start a race war so that Democrats will feel disenfranchised from Trump because they know that's how he won. He won with the black vote. He won with the Latino vote. He won with the white vote. He won with the woman vote. And they just can't understand it. And they never will. You know why? Because they have been so far removed from the American people in their little snub-nosed elite societies. They will never be in touch with us. And I want you to know, I'm not just mad at Democrats.